Good morning, everybody. Well, when I saw this headline in ABC News, I knew who was behind this attack. You know who's behind this attack is. Everybody does. I didn't have to click on the story itself to read the sub-headline to find out, although the sub-headline, surprisingly, the president of France also identifies who's behind this attack. Let's start with the headline. Suspect dead, 11 in custody following beheading of teacher in Paris suburb. Obviously, it's the religion of peace behind this latest beheading. And yes, look at that subheadline. French President Macron called it a blatant Islamic terrorist attack. Even the cuck from France has to admit it. It's a terrorist attack from the religion of peace. Let's see what the story is all about. 11 people are in custody after police in a Paris suburb shot to death a man carrying a knife that authorities believe may have been used to kill another man found nearby. The victim was beheaded, authorities said. That's as brutal as you can get. The victim, well, he was a male teacher at a local middle school, and he mentioned the Hebo cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad. You know, those cartoons that made famous several years ago that cost many Parisian editors, writers, cartoonists their lives, who were attacked at that magazine's headquarters. Look what President Macron says. One of our fellow citizens was murdered today for teaching students freedom of speech, freedom to believe and not to believe, he said. It is no coincidence that this evening it is a teacher that this terrorist killed because he wanted to bring down the Republic and its values. The victim was identified by authorities as Samuel Paty, 47, a professor of history and geography at the Middle School College de Bois d'Arun. Here is why I believe that Macron was so willing to identify this person as an Islamic terrorist. The suspect was identified by authorities as Moscow-born Chechen refugee who had a French residence permit. He was unknown to intelligence services, authorities said. In case you don't know it, Chechens are Muslims that reside in Europe. You'll find many a Chechen with blonde hair and blue eyes, so it was more politically correct for President Macron to slam this particular Muslim than it would be a Muslim from, say, Africa or the Near East. Now, let's back up a paragraph because I want to show you how magical this Islamic terrorist was. The National Police responded shortly after 4 p.m. local time on Friday following the discovery of a body, authorities said. The suspect was seen running toward the police officers, firing what looked like a pistol 5 times, which turned out to be a toy air gun, authorities said. This man was a genius. 3 officers fired back, causing the suspect to fall, police said. While trying to get up, the suspect attempted to stab the officer who neutralized him, authorities said. Neutralized him. Is that a euphemism for pumping him full of lead? That's what I hope he did anyway. The suspect was hit by 9 bullets, anti-terrorism state prosecutor Jean-Francois Ricard said during a press briefing Saturday. Now, let's see how the BBC talks about this story before I give my final analysis of this story. France teacher attack, rallies held to support beheaded Samuel Paty. And you see this demonstrator right here. This is actually a peaceful demonstration holding up a sign. Freedom of speech in English. I wish I could understand French. I can't read that second tiny white sign off to the right. Let's take a quick glance at this story. People in the Place de la République in Paris carried the slogan, Je suis enseignant, I am a teacher, with PM Jean Castex saying, we are France. A man named as Abdullah A was shot dead by police on Friday after killing Mr. Paty close to his school in Paris. An 11th person was arrested as part of the investigation. See, here's where my full analysis takes place and how I think it affects the U.S. France has let in these Muslims who have no wish to adapt to the country that they're immigrating to. They don't wish to obey its laws. They wish to turn France into a Muslim terrorist state. The same thing could be happening in the U.S. The U.S. should be very careful about who it allows to emigrate into the U.S. I firmly believe that before a man is allowed to emigrate to the U.S., I believe they should at first look at this man's political and religious leanings to make sure that there is no conflict with those in the U.S. They should be asked if they're willing to obey U.S. laws, even if they go against their own laws or religious beliefs from where they came. Obviously, they wish to come to the U.S. for a better life because their own country they consider a bit of a shithole.